Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at an Invoker monk build that apparently works really well at endgame and higher tier mapping and stuff like that. This is sent to me by a friend of mine who unfortunately has gone on Christmas break and I can't get in touch with him, so I've tried to rebuild it the best that I can through the grainy little photos that he sent me through his phone, but it looks incredible and I am unfortunately nowhere close to top level with my monk. And yeah, so let's get into it. Before we get into it though, I'm giving away some gold because it's coming up to Christmas and New Year's. I'm giving away 1,000 gold. Yes, I've made a community post that I wasn't going to post Path of Exiles anymore, but I've had a lot of nice comments and support from a lot of people, so I thought, you know, I'll just keep doing builds and theory crafting more than anything, because that allows me then to play the game and have fun and not have to worry too much about videos. But yeah, I can still do my fun creative side with builds. So let's get into it now. First and foremost, I don't have his full armor set, but I have some of it and I have some idea of what would work really well. So if you want a quarter staff that you can attach something like physical damage to, adding lightning damage to it, elemental damage with attacks, critical hit chance, some kind of level with all melee skills, you want this as often as you can through the build. And I put life per enemy killed on it. I don't know whether you necessarily need that, but I don't know what else to put on it. I kind of brainstormed and threw that on myself. And then obviously whatever runes and stuff you choose to have on top of that is up to you. As I said, I'm not at that point yet with my monk. When it comes to armor, you want everything possible with evasion and energy shield improvement, maximum life, maximum mana, dexterity when and where you can, but also resistances on every single piece of armor that you can put onto it. You want 2 or 3 of every resistance, specifically chaos resistance. So you'll have chaos and fire on one, you'll have cold and chaos on another, you have lightning and cold on one, and you have fire and lightning on another. You know, you'll round it up so that there's essentially 2 sets of resistances on across every single armor, if that makes sense. Then for everything else, because unfortunately I don't have the full build, you are like crit damage, crit hit chance, evasion rating, anything like I said that has plus melee to skills. And on top of that, you just have to figure the rest out. I apologize, I don't have the build and I can't get in touch with him. Now, I was very lucky to get his abilities and his gems sent to me. That was one of the first things I asked for him, because I know that in my builds I don't include them. So we have Wind Dancer. Grants a buff that gives you more evasion per stage. Being hit by a melee attack while you have this buff consumes all stages to damage and knock back enemies around you. This is obviously for survivability while also doing damage. For the gems, you want blind, so you get a 100% chance to blind enemies on hits. You want clarity, 30% increased mana regeneration rate while a supported skill is active, and I assume while that's building up, then it will still be active, and that means that the clarity is also active. Then for pin, supported skills do not cause stun build up, but physical damage from supported skill is pinning. This will all work together really well, and I think it's just kind of like natural happening passively while you're playing, so you don't need to worry too much about it. On top of that, we have Combat Frenzy. Gain a frenzy charge when you freeze, electrocute, or pin an enemy. That goes hand in hand with Wind Dancer, but also all the lightning stuff you will be using. So you are just gaining frenzy charges, and if you have Profusion, you get an additional charge, or a 50% chance to get an additional charge. So now let's look at the lightning damage stuff. We're going to have Charge Staff. Obviously, consume all power charges to infuse your quarterstaff with electricity, adding lightning damage and a lightning shockwave to your quarterstaff attacks. Reusing this skill while this buff is active adds to the buff's duration and damage. So once you activate this through your charges that you'll gain from these, you will just basically have lightning infused weapons for a very long time, because every time you kill, it's going to keep going. Then we're going to have Overcharge, so 75% increased magnitudes of shocks inflicted with supported skills. Supported skills have 50% less shock duration, so you're just going to do stronger shocks but less often. Then we have Conduction. Supported skills have 100% chance more to shock. And then we have Persistence. Supported skills have 40% more skill effect duration, which, you know, I think goes against the Overcharge debuff. Don't quote me on that though, I don't play monk, but these are the gems that I've been told to use. So we have Storm Wave. Sweep your quarterstaff, projecting a bolt of lightning through the ground in a long wave ahead of you. Converts 80% of physical damage to lightning damage. Wavelength is 8 meters. Wave width is 1 meter. That's very hard to say. So this is kind of your knockback big damage move on your like general play, rather than it just happening passively. And this is where all your gems come in. So we have Martial Tempo. Support skills have 25% more attack speed, because you want that out faster. Primal Armaments. Supported skills deal 25% more weapon elemental damage, which you're going to be, you know, having lightning infused into your weapon and using lightning elemental based stuff, so you want more damage. Then we have electrocute. Supported skills cannot inflict shock. Lightning damage from supported skills contributes to electrocution build up. We have lightning infusion. Supported attacks gain 25% of damage as extra lightning damage, but you do less cold and fire. Who cares? Because we're doing lightning. Upheaval. Supported skills create 2 additional fissures. Supported skills have 20% less attack speed, which is counteracted by the other one, but it also does less damage. However, you're going to constantly be putting this out. It's going to be one of your main meaty hitting weapon moves abilities, so these are the gems I was told to use. We have Herald of Thunder, which is taking advantage of the shocked enemies. Lightning bolts strike the targets of your next 3 attack hits after killing a shocked enemy with the attack damage. So once you kill one, you get a whole bunch of added lightning to your next couple of attacks. We have Elemental Focus. We could do 25% more elemental damage, but you cannot inflict ailments. We have Inevitable Critical. That's a nice songy soundy word. Supported skills gain 25% increased critical hit chance each second up to 100%. This critical hit chance is lost whenever a skill supported by inevitable critically hits. Woo! So, you know, this is going to help you with your criticals. Innovate. Attacks gain 35% damage as lightning damage for 3 seconds on killing a shocked enemy with supported skills. So these 3 are going to be your main kind of like DPS attacking, blasting people with lightning type build. We then go down to Unbound Avatar. Gain Unbound Fury when you inflict an elemental ailment with a hit on an enemy no more than once every 0.2 seconds for each type of ailment. Maximum 100 Unbound Fury. Cannot gain Unbound Fury while unbound. 40% more elemental damage while unbound, 40% more elemental ailment buildup while unbound, 80% more chance to inflict elemental ailments while unbound. Unbound duration is 9.9 seconds. Whew, that was a lot. So basically, this is just another passive thing that's on the go as you're playing. It's just going to be there happening. You don't have to worry too much about it. It's going to just mix up with everything else that we've just spoken about. So you don't need to worry about it. It's just a lot of stuff on there. Basically, you go unbound and you do a whole bunch of stuff. Basically a rage mechanic. Then we have Grim Feast. When at first I was like, why is this in the build? But that little bit down there, Grim Remnants recover 242 energy shield, but that 50% chance to spawn a remnant when an enemy or reviving minion dies in your presence. So when an enemy dies in your presence, you'll get Grim Remnants to recover your energy shield. I misread this completely. I just thought it was only about minions. So I was like, why is that in the build? But then it made sense. Then we have Blink, which changes your roll into a teleport. Doesn't seem that fun to me personally. I like to roll, but you will have ability to teleport 4.9 meters. And then we have Vitality, regenerate 1% of life per second while a support skill is active. And you know, every time you teleport, you're going to get a bit of health back as well. And then we have Ingenuity. Support skills have 30% increased cooldown recovery rate. So these are the abilities and gems that I was sent. Don't kill me. Don't shoot the messenger. This is just what I was told. So now for the skill tree, which I think I've missed a couple out of because I don't have a full build. So don't kill me because I just got a grainy picture. I've tried to copy it best I can. But we start with the ascendancy, which obviously for Invoker, we go up here for evasion and energy shield increase, but also lead me through the grace. Gain 1 spirit for every 6 energy shield on equipped body armor. Gain 1 spirit for every 15 evasion rate on equipped body armor. Cannot gain spirit from equipment. Critical hit chance increase, and then sunder my enemies. Critical hits ignore non-negative enemy monster elemental resistances. Then we go down here for magnitude of shock. Gain 10% of damage as extra lightning damage. 25% chance on shocking enemies to create shocked ground. And then we have the elemental damage and the unlock for Unbound Avatar. Then we're going to take this route here. So we got skill speed, attack damage, and then flow like water, 8% increase attack and cast speed, 5 to dexterity and intelligence. Then we go around here for evasion and energy shield, and evasion and energy shield, and evasion and energy shield, and step like mist, 4% increase movement speed, 15% increase mana regeneration rate, plus 5 to dexterity and intelligence. We take the increased skill speed here up to flow state, so we get more skill speed and more mana regeneration rate. We take the critical hit chance here up to crashing wave, 36% increased damage if you've dealt a critical hit in the past 8 seconds, and we've just looked at inevitable critical, so we'll see that. 15% increased chance to shock and gain 5% of damage as extra lightning damage, 30% increased chance to shock, which is all going to go with all the abilities we just spoke about. Then we carry on through this here. critical chance, and every single node I've put as dexterity because there's no way in this world I could have seen what each one represented on his build, so I've just put them all as dexterity or just left them for the sake of this video. Then we have critical damage bonus, critical hit chance, and moment of truth, 25% increased critical damage bonus if you've dealt a non-critical hit recently, 20% increased critical hit chance. So you are going to have your criticals being spawned from your non-critical hits to give you more criticals to then work with all the abilities we just spoke about. We carry on up here and we have reduced mana costs, and conservative casting, increased mana regeneration rate, and 8% reduced mana cost of skills. Then we move up here a little bit and we go down into the increased attack damage to killer instinct, 30% increased attack damage when on full life, 50% increased attack damage when on low life. And then we have attack speed, and then tenfold attacks, increased attack speed, and then increased attack speed if you've been hit recently, plus 10 to strength. Pretty cool perk, pretty cool little thing. Then we're going to go up this way, I think. We have all of these here for critical bonuses. So critical damage bonus, critical hit chance, 10 to dexterity, 20% increased critical hit chance, critical damage bonus, up here to for the jugular, 30% increased critical damage bonus, plus 10 to intelligence. We follow it all the way around here to deadly force, 30% increased damage if you've dealt a critical hit in the past 8 seconds, 12% increased critical hit chance. So you can see this is all working off criticals and everything kind of is intrinsically working with each other. Then we take this over here, resonance, gain power charges instead of frenzy charges instead of endurance charges instead of power charges. So that ability that was building us with our frenzy charges will change to power charges, which works with our build. We continue up here to more attack speed, and deep trance, attack speed, and reduced cost of skills. Now we move up here to the dual socket. I have no idea what he put in here, and we carry on up to this here. So we have critical hit chance, 10%. We have critical hit chance, and careful assassin, 20% reduced critical damage bonus, 50% increased critical chance. So you get more criticals more often, which will then boost all the different abilities and all the different buffs and just get it going. And then again, he went up here to a dual socket, I believe. Don't know what he put in there though. Let's now go the opposite way. So it wouldn't be right without some lightning increases. So we got lightning damage. Maybe he went here. No, he didn't. Lightning damage, all the way to wild storm, maximum lightning damage. So lightning damage. Carry on down here to critical damage bonus, and throat seeker, 6% increased critical damage bonus, 20% reduced critical hit chance. So the opposite of the perk we just saw, but they're kind of balancing each other out so that you're getting a buff to both of them. So then we go down to here, and I hope I got these right because I could not for the life of me see what was on the picture. We have increased attack speed with quarter staves, which you know you like, more up there, and then whirling assault, 8% increased attack speed with quarter staves, knockbacks enemies if you get a critical hit with a quarter staff, which is what we're working towards, is getting as many criticals as possible. Then we go the opposite way for more attack speed, increased accuracy rating with quarter staves, 25% increased critical damage bonus with quarter staves, 25 to dexterity, and then we have 18% increased critical damage bonus and more critical damage bonus, and I think that's right. And then we go down here, another dual socket, which I don't know what he put in. Down to here, we go across to herald damage, 12% increased damage while affected by a herald, 12% increased damage while affected by a herald, and then coming calamity, 50% increased cold damage, fire damage, lightning damage, depending on what herald you're using. We're using Herald of Thunder, so makes sense. Then we go this way for evasion rating, up to enhanced reflexes for more evasion rating, but a big increase to dexterity, more evasion rating, and then bestial skin, 100% increased evasion rating from equipped body armor. That's why you want to get as much evasion rating on your armors as possible, because this will make it through the roof and you're going to do really well with that. Then we go across here for critical damage. I'll show you where we are. We go back up here, down there. Critical hit damage bonus, critical hit chance to heart stopping, 10 to intelligence, and 25% increased critical hit chance. More critical hit chance, critical damage bonus plus 10 to strength. So again, just building into crit. Then we go to here for electrocute build up all the way through. And then we have electrocution. Enemies you electrocute have 20% increased damage taken. So you're debuffing them so they can take more damage. Then we go down here to another dual socket, which I don't know what he put in. We go over here, increase attack damage, movement speed, and increased attack damage, and I have a chance to maim on hit. So pretty cool little addition there. And then I think he went this way to elemental attack damage, it would make sense. So you're getting more elemental attack damage. And then you have the big one, Catalyst. 20% increased elemental damage with attacks, 5% physical damage from hits taken as damage from a random element. Whew, that was a lot. And I think in its entirety, that is the build that was sent to me. It kind of looks the same, so I'm thinking I got it right. But yeah, so my friend wanted me to upload this video, and I'm just sad that he went away so soon, because I would have asked him to bring his Xbox around and I would have recorded footage as well. But from the little clips that he sent me on camera, it looks pretty good. So let me know what you're thinking down below. Do you play Monk? Do you play something similar to this? What do you think is a better build? Let me know down below. Thank you for watching. I've been easynow. You guys have been awesome.